We are increasing the relationship we have with ourselves. We're not beating ourselves up in the sake of saying, oh, look what I did, and posting it on Instagram. That's not the culture I'm a part of. Hey babes, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's 2023, darling. I'm hoping that all of you guys slid right into this year peacefully, gracefully, happy, with people that you love, you know, and just an overall good spirits. And I'm just really excited to begin the top of the year with you all. My name is Dyme and LaShawn, if you're new here, and my channel is all about increasing and enhancing the relationship you have with yourself. I believe that personal relationship with you is the source, you know, and if you ain't got that, what do you got? Okay, no other relationships and no other doings are more important than you being tapped and turned on with yourself, and you know, just really being in tune with what you got going on, because it fuels you. It's the blueprint, right? Okay, however, if you're already a babe, meaning someone who is already subscribed and someone who's already tapped in with me over here, you don't need me to run my mouth about this any longer. So let's just go ahead and move on to the top of the video. How to plan for and have a productive new year. So boom. Okay, I do this every year, and I've been doing this for about, I want to say about 7 years. And it's crazy what happens when you write shit down. Shit get real, you know, things get real when you actually write it down and you actually decide on it and make decisions about it. And that's why I'm going to start the beginning of this video with making lists. This is the first thing that I do when I go into a new year or when there's a fresh start. The first list that I make is a gratitude list. The gratitude list is just really a compilation of everything that I'm happy about that occurred in the current year that I'm making the list, and then also everything that I was actually able to physically accomplish or materialistically procure, okay? That might have been on my list previously, since I've been doing this for years. But basically, it's everything that I'm happy about, everything that I want to take with me into the new year. And normally after I make that list, I normally reflect on it a bit and I post it somewhere that I can see, because I think that in order to truly be productive and truly be in good spirits about setting out to your next destination or your next goal, you have to actually look and see that you are a productive being, you can get things done, and you have, because it's motivating. Like, it's just motivating, okay? It sucks when you feel like, oh, woe is me, I don't ever get anything done, right? But it feels better when you're like, I forgot I did that. So it helps to just kind of give you a pick-me-up, a recap of how productive you are and how great you are, and then also just helps you to lead into the next list. Now, note, on the gratitude list and the things that you are happy about and the things that you have physically accomplished, I want to be sure to let you guys know this is not a time in which you need to beat yourself up for anything if you did not get it accomplished and it was on your list of goals to do so. No, this is just an opportunity to look over it and just kind of see, where was I distracted? Where did I get kind of like taken off the path? And find some other things that you might be grateful for in place of it. And it doesn't have to be physical or tangible. It can be, I am grateful I was able to figure out how to meditate for 10 minutes a day. I am grateful I was able to figure out how to tune out negativity. I am so happy I accomplished the ability to be able to not engage when things are negative. I was able to let go of a person who didn't treat me well. I was able to get a new job. Whatever the accomplishment is to you, you can truly utilize that. It doesn't have to be tangible and it doesn't have to be intangible. It's completely up to you. Okay, so that leads me into the second thing, the second list. The second list that I make is normally a list about things that I want to leave behind. Okay, it is not an opportunity to beat myself up about how I was distracted and I wasn't a good person, and you know, I should have been doing this, but I was too busy running around with Ray Ray. No, that's not what this list is for. This list is for, hey, I want to leave behind negative self-talk. I want to leave behind procrastination. I want to leave behind the inability to acknowledge my feelings. You know, you might want to put those things on the list. You might say, I want to leave behind the boyfriend I got. I want to leave behind, you know, that friend that is not good to me or for me. It can be whatever you, you know, want it to be. Whatever resonates with you, you can write that on this list. However, don't take it as an opportunity, again, to be unkind to yourself or to beat yourself up for anything that may have occurred, okay? Because we are onward and upward. That list, however, you don't post it anywhere. I would recommend setting the intention behind certain things and actually, you know, making it make sense, because for lack of better words. But for me, I think that lists like that should either be burned, buried, or destroyed, thrown away, soaked in water, whatever. It just kind of sends a good message out to the universe and out to the world that you are done with those things and they no longer serve you. So that's normally what I do first. I make the two lists. I get some things into perspective, like, oh, God was so good to me this year because of this, and this. And then the next list is, but I ain't doing this, and this no more. Okay, so that's the first step. So there is an addendum to that step. There is an add-on to the last step. So remember that list I told you that you might want to burn, bury, or destroy? That list, it's very helpful if you make a little sub list on a piece of paper to just kind of start jotting down, how do you plan to fix those things? What do you think you can do to fix those things? What is in your power to be able to fix those things, or to, you know, get rid of those things so that you don't take the same behaviors into this year that you're about to step into? Because like I said, if you don't plan, you plan to fail. Did I say that yet? If I didn't, that's what I meant. So you want to make sure that you're actually giving yourself a fighting chance, because saying something and not having anything behind it is just kind of pointless, child. Trust me. Trust me. Being a mouthpiece with no legs, meaning if you ain't gonna walk the walk and talk the talk, it's just no point. So try to make a list about things that could be helpful in ditching those old habits that you don't want, or ditching those behaviors or those things that you no longer want, so that you can give yourself a fighting chance and give yourself an idea of what you can start doing so that you don't have to deal with it anymore. So this is also a really, really good one, and it's coming in hot at number 2. And I just want to say, like, it might be the most important one on the list, but you want to ask yourself your why. Like, what's your why? Like, what moves you? You know, what gets you going? Like, what makes you feel warm and fuzzy on the inside? You know, because I feel like at the top of the year and in those quote unquote new beginnings, a lot of people are wondering, like, purpose. I want to find me. I want to figure out what it is that I'm on this earth for. And I feel like that is an overall, like, assignment for all of us in life at some point, because I believe that sometimes your purpose can change. However, if you never sit down and ponder on it and think about it and try to get some answers, how will you ever know? So that's why I like to do this. I like to ask myself, so what's my why? What gets me going? What gets me going? Because each year it might be a little bit different. It might change. It might morph in different ways. And so I like to ask myself, what's moving me? And check in and do that self-audit, because if ego is moving me, baby, we are on a long bumpy ride. But if love is moving me, I found, if, you know, me actually being productive and helpful is moving me, if I'm moving in true, you know, understanding and clarity, then it's gonna be short and sweet. It's gonna be beautiful. So I like to check in with me. What moves me? What do I like to do? Why do I like to do it? Why does it mean something to me? So forth and so on. You know, it's almost like, you know, asking yourself, like, what makes me feel most seen and most useful? Because those things enhance, you know, self-esteem. They make you feel good. And when you feel good about you, if somebody comes and says, oh, we don't like what she's doing, or speaks down on you, or gives you negative feedback, you know that you're moving in purpose, and you know that it makes you feel good, and you don't feel any shame about what you're doing. So you're just kind of like, it's a little easier to disregard unnecessary and negative commentary when you are tapped in with yourself and you know what you need in order to feel useful, in order to feel seen. And overall, it just builds up your self-esteem. And when you have high self-esteem, you're unstoppable. Like, you can do anything. Trust me. Trust me. And this is coming from a girl who did not always have high self-esteem. Okay, so just trust me on that one. So your why is going to be your foundation, right? Like, you're going to, like, okay, so that's me, that's what I'm on, okay, cool, like, this is what I do, you know, this is me, you know what I mean? And it doesn't have to be in specific terms. It doesn't have to be, I am a healer in which I use only crystals, and you don't have to do that. You can say, I'm a healer. It makes me feel good when I'm able to help, and when I am able to enhance, when I'm able to give and share, you know. Just keep it as general as possible, but I think that it is nice if you can kind of, like, you know, micro analyze it. But if you can't, it's not a big deal, because this next step, you're going to do the work that's going to help you narrow it down, right? So you're going to visualize, okay? And this is coming in hot at number 3. I feel like all of these gems are hot because I know for a fact that they work, because I've been doing them for years, okay? And the years that I have not done them, I feel flat on my face. Okay, so take it from me, all right? If you don't plan, you plan to fail. I'm not lying. I'm being honest with you here, okay? I'm being honest. So you're going to visualize. And this is an exercise that I did a lot in 2022. And you're going to visualize, what does the life that you want to live look like to you? What do you look like to you? The you want to be. Okay, because I'm sure you already want to be this person you are, because I mean, why not? But I mean, for all of the things that you want to increase, and all of the things that you want to enhance, and all of the things that you want to get better at and get more skilled in, for all of those things, think about what that girl looks like. Think about what that person looks like. Like, what do they do? You know, how does she move? You know, what clothes does she wear? What fragrance? What does she smell like? What does she like to eat? Is she a fit babe? Like, does she eat super healthy? Is she a southern girl? She got an extra couple curves? Do she like, you know, oxtails on Sundays? You know, is it giving Sunday dinner? You know, what does the girl look like? You know, is she having avocado toast, you know, in bed? Is she having pancakes in her sunroom? What does the girl you are aspiring to be, and what does the girl you are enjoying now, what does she look like? What does that overall picture look like for you? Your ideal woman, your ideal person, what they look like? I feel like when I got really clear mentally on, like, what I was looking like, what I was wearing, what I was smelling like, what I was eating, what I was drinking, what I did on mornings, what that girl I was reinventing myself to be did, it got clearer for me. It wasn't so hard for me to kind of figure out, like, what am I doing? Because I'm still in that process of reinvention, but it's not so chaotic anymore in my mind, because I know what I'm aiming for. I have an idea of what that girl looks like. Clear idea. I've even written it down, what that girl looks like, and what the type of people, down to the type of people that I want to have in my life, the type of things I want to do, the things that I want to have. And I would encourage you guys to pick up a book called 12-Week Year. It's a perfect time to get that book. It even has it on audiobook, and that's where I have it on Audible. Okay, because I don't have time to read no damn books. I'm gonna be real with you. I've attempted, and I've still been working through the books that I have to physically read. All of my reads pretty much happen when I'm listening to Audible. So that's just a small little no. Audible, if you want me on your team, come and get me, because this is not sponsored. But, you know, I'm sharing a tools, child. Do not skip the visualization and the journaling step. After you visualize it, write it down. You're going to want to ask yourself, do you want kids? Do you know, what kind of partner do you want to have? All the rest of that stuff. What does that person do? Okay? Once you have done your complete visualization, asking yourself what that person does, how they live, how they smell, where they go, all the rest of that warm and fuzzy stuff, right? You're going to want to try to map out things in terms of deadline. And these are soft deadlines. Life happens. So, you know, we're not expecting for everything to go boom, boom, boom. However, it helps when you plan according to what it is that you're trying to do and make realistic plans. You know what I mean? So for me, I wrote down a couple of things in my journal, and in my book, my manifestation book. By the way, I do have a journal out on Amazon. I'll link it in the description box for manifesting. But I definitely put down, you know, in 2 to 3 years I want to have, in 4 to 5 years I want to have, and then under that I did, oh well, in 6 months I think it's reasonable to have XYZ, in 3 months I think it's I think it's reasonable to have, you know, ABC, whatever, you know, blocks make sense to you. Make sure that they are reasonable, they make sense, and, you know, you're actually putting in actionable things, because if you don't plan, you plan to fail. And it's very motivating to be able to see your plan. You like, oh, I got something I'm supposed to be doing. I can't go out with you tonight. I got something I'm supposed to be doing. You know, I want to stay out all night, but if I'm going to miss my solid core class, I don't think it's a good idea. That's how you start turning into the person you want to be. Because it increases your discipline, because you're looking at something that's holding you accountable. You're looking at the list. So that's where you do this, mapping out your deadline. This is the last thing that I do in terms of preparing for my new year, in terms of planning, right? And it's a little intricate, like not intricate, but it has many steps under it, micro steps. So let's just go ahead and talk about it. After you've mapped out what it is that you want to get done in those time blocks and what it looks like for you in, you know, the most realistic way possible, you want to start thinking about the next step, the micro thing, right? And the micro thing is, for example, if I say, oh, okay, in 2 to 3 years I want to buy a house. I know what this house looks like. I know how it feels to me, because remember, we visualized it. I know, you know, what kind of art I will hang on the walls. You know, I can feel it. I'm already there. It's already on its way to me, right? So with that being said, now I need to figure out what actionable goals can I do that gets me, that propels me even closer to it, that helps me meet it where it is on its way to me, right? So that might look like cleaning up my credit. That might look like making more money. That might look like really watching the housing market. That might look a lot of different ways. However, all 4 or 3 of those goals, how many did I list? Those get me closer to the overall 2 to 3 year goal. And those right there can be done in this year. So it helps me to be actionable without overwhelming myself. And trust me, I'm a girl with anxiety, so I overwhelm the hell out of myself sometimes. Writing things down helps keep me on track. Like, girl, look, you trying to do 100 things. Your list says this. So it helps because you are setting a goal that's big, right? But then you're setting some actionable things that are, you know, big in the grand scheme, but small. They're doable, and they don't all have to be done now, but they can be started now. You can set mini marks for those. 3 months to, you know, find someone who can help me increase my credit. You know, give myself 6 months to break into a new job opportunity. You can say, I'm going to give myself the rest of this year to kind of watch the trends in the house market. So you get what I'm saying? That's how I set my goals, and that's how I break them down, so that it all just kind of comes together. But I also can hold myself accountable without overwhelming myself. And that's the real big thing. If you have a plan for 101 things and you're putting pressure on yourself to do 101 things today, and even more reasonable, in 1 year, you're being crazy. There's only 4 quarters in a year. Each quarter has about 3.5 months if you nasty, okay? And that's only if you nasty, if you stretching time out a little bit. It is impossible to get some of the goals done in the time frame that we want to get them done in, because I want everything and I want it now, today, in this moment. That's not how things work, and they honestly wouldn't even be as meaningful to us if we were able to do it. So that's just a small note on planning, being realistic with myself, and encourage you guys to be realistic with your goals as well, and letting it come, because you're going to spend the same amount of time getting it anyway. So you might as well take your time and do it right, okay? And so that's what I normally do for planning. I micro set goals for myself, and I make it make sense. If I do have goals there as well that are in my mind and I'm putting them on paper and they don't align, I start looking at them as an audit. Do I really, is this adding to this? Is this adding to the vision that I had of the person in step 3? If it's not that girl, exit out. Or if it's not that girl, but I really, really want this, figure out how it aligns. Because it's no point in doing this if it doesn't add to what you're trying to do. You know what I mean? And I've learned that the hard way, trying to get trying to make fetch happen, trying to do 101 things, and it's not working because you have to concentrate effort in one area before you move to the next. So that's how I do my planning. And like I said, if you don't plan, then you plan to fail. And that leads me to just the last note and the last statement that I want to make about the new year. Babes, we're not going to fall into that culture of do, get done, have, do, accomplish. We're not going to do that. It puts too much stress on everyone, okay? I know for me, I am a recovering thrill addict. I just want the thrill. Like, oh, I got this, I have this. And then you end up having a whole bunch of stuff that you can't even do anything with because it doesn't align with who you are and what you got going on. And this planning and the way that I've shared with you what I do is helpful because it helps you to prevent that. I don't want you guys running around with chickens with y'all heads cut off at the top of the year in January, and then by March y'all burned out and y'all like, fuck that gym. And forget eating well, I'm hungry, and I don't care, you know, if the boy is bad for me, I'ma still date him because I just don't feel like finding nobody new. Dating sucks. Take your time, pace yourself so that you don't burn yourselves out, okay? We are increasing the relationship we have with ourselves. We're not beating ourselves up in the sake of saying, oh, look what I did, and posting it on Instagram. That's not the culture I'm a part of, okay? I am encouraging you guys to do what makes sense. Do what makes sense internally as well. So while we're setting goals about who that girl looks like and what she does and where she goes and where she likes to eat and who she's friends with, we're also being realistic about who is she on the inside. Is she compassionate? Does she, you know, give to charity? Is she someone who is a good mother? Is she someone who is a good friend? We're thinking about all of this. So I want you guys to make sure that not only you're listing your accomplishments and what you can get and what you can have and hit the ground running. I want you guys to really take time to reflect, make it make sense, put some things down that are reasonable and actionable and little chunks so that they are actually doable, so that you can look back on this year and really see that you set a plan, it made sense, and you were able to follow your own personal blueprint, not anyone else's, okay? And that right there, babes, is how you have a good year. Planning, getting the mind dump on the paper so that the rest of the year you're like, I got a blueprint. If it needs to change, you can edit it throughout the year. However, you have what you need, okay? Make a plan for you, get to know you and what you're trying to do, get a direction so that no matter where this year takes you, no matter what this year does, because sometimes the year be doing things. No matter what goes on, you have a plan that you can always go back to. You have some clarity that you already sat and focused on and understand, and nobody ever will be able to take you too far away from the plan because you already have it written down, okay? So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I really look forward to doing this year with you guys. I'm so excited. Please let me know in the comments what you guys might want going forward topic wise. I always bring to you what I think you guys would like, but you guys engaging with me is always super helpful. I hope this video was helpful. I hope that it was something that could help you in terms of being actionable, and I'll see you guys on the next one.